What's up, everybody? Jordan down at the Fiorentina Italian Kitchen. And I got my buddy Cliff Ponte here with me doing the next episode of the Slice of Success podcast. And Cliff, I thank you for coming in, brother.
Thanks for having me, man.
So the podcast for people watching is I have people come in and we talk about, success. And I really want to make it so that when people come in, if somebody watches this for an hour, dude, like they hopefully walk away with something that will help them, benefit them. And I have it in mind, like people in Fall River, right? So like, I know I've always been on the record, like my background, come from a poor background, right? And a lot of the people I grew up with, the whole debtor in jail, like cliche, whatever. And that's not my existence, right? And had I, what we were just talking about offline, like the traditional school and what you're supposed to do in life, I would have been in a similar path like that, right? But I thank God just kind of been exposed to different things. And, and that's why I have you here, because I know, just for people that don't know, Cliff Ponte, Fall River City Council is probably like the least of the hats that you wear, dude. Basically, you're the, I don't know what it's considered, like the principal of like Keller Williams?
Yeah, so I'm the broker, operating principal, and partner of the Keller Williams brokerage in this area. So we own the region from Seekonk all the way down to Marion, Wareham area. Yep. So there's no other Keller Williams that could ever open except within our office. So we own this territory. And then I'm when I think about it, I'm really busy, I guess. Obviously we own New York Bagel, we own Rogers, we brought this year, Almax, I own a real estate school. I buy my own flips. I have my own inventory.
Could you even, I hate to interrupt you, but could you even tell me right now, if I said, how many businesses do you own? Do you know the concrete number?
I would say probably, I was literally, as I was saying it, I was like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
6 or 7. Where do you get off having 6 or 7 businesses?
It's all about, we talked offline about like delegating and being in the right place at the right time and making the right connections, and, being respected and hopefully respected and working hard. I have great partners in my businesses, and I've been able to learn to delegate. I was a control freak my entire life, and over the last 10 years or so, I've decided to meet good people and get close to them and hear what their goals are as individuals and people, and then see how we can collaborate. And that's how we got New York Bagel. That's how Rogers is open. That's how my dad runs Almax. So we're able to do that. But the real estate business, to be crystal clear, the real estate business is what's given me the financial flexibility to do that, right? Because if you go to a local bank right now, there's so much red tape, it's absolutely ridiculous, right?
Really?
You can't, if I want to go try to get a business loan, you got to go through 4 weeks of underwriting. They take a blood sample. They make sure that you're solid.
Would you even qualify for SBA loan?
I mean, I think so. It all depends if I buy a small business.
Because I heard that they got more restrictive on if you're already financially, I guess healthy otherwise, right?
Yeah.
That's just what I've heard from brokers that I've been talking to, M&A types,
Yeah, it's just hard. It's not easy to get money right now because I think the banks see an economy adjustment, and so they usually try to get ahead of that. So 07, 08, they don't want to have that happen again. So they're very, very thorough,
conservative,
writing, and that's their business. That's fine.
Yeah,
I don't own a bank, so I can't determine that. But
you want to buy one?
Thank you, honey. I wish I could. We can create our own bank if you want. We'll call it the Bank of Jordan.
Yeah. Well, you asked me before we came on to what I do for Jeff and Manny. I'm like the day guy, manager at their their finance company. Manny, kind of like you, has the dealerships. So the natural bolt-on is I'm going to start my own finance company to finance my own sales, right? So the only thing that, like you said, and that's kind of what boggles my mind about the things that you've done is it makes sense to have a brokerage and then be real estate school, right? Because they're related and one can feed the other, obviously. Yeah. Big part of your thing is recruiting agents. What makes you go from real estate into restaurants? Hold it there. I'm gonna go run.
Get your pizza.
My daughter won't pull the pizza out of the oven. I'll be right back. Like you said, when you talk about real estate, I love how you mentioned that, dude, because that's key. You kind of have to, or at least your way. It was kind of my way too. You made money in some initial endeavor, which gave you the options to get into other things. But my question is, which is how I got the pizza place too, right? My question is, what made you do restaurants? Like, that's just because every person I talk to, I literally went to people to learn how to buy businesses.
Yeah.
And they said, don't do restaurants, right? Like and if you, I always say, Charlie Munger, Warren Buffett, they say a restaurant's the most difficult business. Don't get into it. If you think a small business means it's going to be easier, go try running a restaurant.
Yep.
What made you do that?
I took a risk. I had zero experience running a restaurant.
Same here.
My dad was in his 50s, upper 50s, and he was getting interviewed by 21-year-old kids because he's been, he was in the bar business his whole life and the restaurant business. And he wasn't getting hired because everybody looked at him as an intimidating force when they were interviewing him because he could run the business with their eyes closed.
Yeah.
So I was on Facebook on a Saturday. I saw on Florida for Development News that Almax is closing. I stopped everything I do and I ran down there. I said, I want to buy this. I want to make my dad run this. I bought it for my dad. COVID happened.
Yeah.
Right?
You're going to make me cry now. You were the acting mayor at the time. Did you pull a Jay's deal?
Yeah. Yeah, nuts. Yeah, he's strong.
That's how it works in Florida for people who are not from the area. No, but let me stop you there, though. Yeah. Let me stop you there, though, bro, because that is crazy. I didn't know that was like the circumstances. So basically, you did it just to be honest, like to help your dad.
I needed my dad to have a job, right?
And you knew too, basically putting him in charge of the business and giving him that opportunity, dude. That's like, what can you do better for someone?
My parents, I look at this, like my parents growing up, they were in the south end of the city in a little house, probably about the size of this place. It wasn't big, it wasn't huge, it wasn't a 4-level house with an in-ground pool and stainless steel appliances, right? And I knew my entire life how much they struggled. And I got real fortunate in my life that I was able to do well in real estate and find a niche and have a mentor to help me when I first started when I was 19 years old, right?
Yep.
And when I had the opportunity to help my parents, I just felt like there's no better, more rewarding feeling in my life. My dad worked his ass off his entire life. He was at the Belmont Club till 4 a.m, working there when he was younger, and like he would leave on Christmas Eve to go work, St. Patrick's. Like I saw what it was like. And my mom was helping me and my brother go play baseball and football and doing all these other things we were doing. And my dad was out working, and my mom was working a small job. And it was hard for them to make ends meet. And I saw that growing up. And I said to myself, when I was 16 years old, I was working at Papagino's, and I was like, shit, I cannot do this for the rest of my life. It was football Sunday. I'm sitting here slinging pizzas.
So you're a pizza guy. Everyone who comes here is a pizza guy.
Yeah. I'm sweating my ass off.
Yeah.
I had my T-shirts I had to get rid of.
Any pictures, any Polaroids?
I don't know, man. It was before the iPhone.
Dude, let me stop you for 1 sec. And again, I'm glad I don't have to dominate the conversation here because you're a talker too, bro, right? Couple things you said there. I'm trying to think which ones I want to address first. I try to start off the episode not to catch you off guard, but for someone watching this, why the hell did I even care what you have to say? Let me ask you, 2025, what is your net worth?
I don't know.
You don't know? Ballpark.
I have no idea.
50 grand?
I'd have to put it all
5
together.
million? It's all right if you're a little cagey, bro. Because that's like asking a woman like her age or her weight. Like if you're uncomfortable saying that,
No.
if you're uncomfortable, it's probably because it's embarrassingly high. Let's be honest.
I'm being completely honest with you. I like when I was counting the businesses, I was like, I don't know,
Yeah.
I'm just so focused on every day.
It's fluid. So
I would have to literally take 25 minutes and count my accounts. I got different stock accounts. I got different.
So for the people listening, he's being modest, right? So for the people listening, let's just say, to be able to just wake up one day and be like, I'm going to buy this business to have my dad. You clearly have had financial success in your life. That's the only part I want people to understand. Like, why would I ask Cliff Ponte what his thoughts are on these whole things? And again, here's the other thing, Cliff. Saying, like, it's not, if you were born into, wealth.
I'm not a trust fund baby.
Yeah, if you were born into wealth and got to where you are now, whatever, obviously it's less compelling. But if you didn't come from that background, and again, it's just to let people know it's that progress, right? Like, and again, you don't want to say how much, that's fine, dude. But I know you're well off, dude, and you're very successful. Anybody who's got 7 businesses, which I don't even want to really say that because you can have 7 awful businesses, but I just know personally you do well. Clearly, dude.
The restaurant business is tough though, like this.
100%.
Like this isn't easy
Margins
to do.
Insane.
Like if you think for 1 second like people are becoming rich owning Almax or Rogers, it ain't happening. That was legitimately a job for my dad.
Yeah.
COVID happened. We shut down for a ridiculous year.
Crazy.
Essentially. And then it started to come back up. Now we're dealing with all that infrastructure.
Yeah,
like you can't even get down there in some parts of the day, right?
Yeah, construction.
So, like I know, you know what it's like, and the best part of, you know, if I can ever have any kind of legacy in my life, looking back at it, I'd say I was able to help my parents when they were healthy enough to have a purpose again, and that's awesome.
Let me ask you this on the topic of like wealth, finance, because I know ballpark around. I have a good idea of where you are, even if I just say lower class, middle class, and you know, wealthy and whatever, however you want to characterize that. I know where you kind of come in there, right? What are your thoughts on money, as far as like, because I know you're at a point where there's that famous study that came out. I'm sure it's adjusted for inflation now, but it's like if you make 75 grand, after that, the more money you make doesn't impact your happiness. Obviously, that number's changed, right? Because what that study says is, once you basically cover your you know, necessities and a little bit more than that, like if you're making $1 million a year versus $100 million a year, the net effect on your happiness, and there can even be like a diminishing effect, right? Like there are some people that do so well that, and if they don't run their life properly, which you seem like you have it down, right? You just become stressed out. Like, what's the point?
Money isn't happiness. I don't care what anybody says. You can make as much money as you want, but if you're a lonely person with no friends and you haven't been able to give back to your community or the people that are close to you, what are you worth? What real value do you have?
Yeah.
Somebody said to me the other day, like, you know, you should be proud of all the people you helped. And like, I'm not out there every single time I give a check to somebody, putting it on social media and saying, I'm sitting here helping this person, right?
Yeah.
Like, I just don't have that kind of energy and time. And also, it's unbecoming, if you ask me, right? I don't need to take a picture every time I do something.
Yeah.
I helped. You know,
hey, we're not running against Chris Sylvia here.
And this has nothing to do with that. This is just generally speaking. People just and listen, I do it too. Everybody has an ego.
Hey, listen. When I first met Chris, right, I was of that position, right. So all right. So I'll give you a good example of all the political bullshit. And like I said, I don't want to talk about politics on here. But in like the shit that's been going on lately, some guy comments on it. Oh, Jordan does so well. Ricky Shabbat doing his laundry. Jordan's doing so well. Why doesn't he feed the homeless every day, right? And I'm like, you don't fucking know what I do.
No kidding.
Right? So he goes, and I'm not talking about your employees. I said, neither am I. Right? So, but like if people come in here, because we have that board where people come in and they'll pay in advance for people to have meals. That's not always up there. So if somebody comes in here, dude, I have homeless people come in here it's almost, if not a daily occurrence, right? So again, I must be bragging now to put this on a podcast, but it becomes the typical, you're damned if you do, you're damned if you don't.
Of course.
If we were throwing it out there all the time, like I said, because we live in a capitalist society, I sell pizza. I can't say, come in and get free pizza. Those economics don't fucking work, right? You can't give out free houses all day long, right?
Can't even give out free hot dogs.
You're right. Awesome that and I went in there not too long ago to do the food.
Yeah,
still awesome, which is good. I love the all messed up. But yeah, that whole thing of what you do publicly versus what. But like I was of your you know, a position on that, right? Saying you don't have to throw it out there, or it could be not gloating or bragging or whatever. Chris persuaded me about the whole. Dude, you want to make things known. And I'll even say this, again, I don't want to talk politics, but especially with now, you know, I'm super negative and skeptical when it comes to the political stuff, right? And when it's like that question of a homeless guy on the street or wherever, there are literally things that are problems in Fall River that I did not know about or how bad it was, but for this dude making them public. You know what I mean? So that's so he sold me on it. He converted me on it, right? That we should.
And that's okay. I think he has unlimited potential. I think I sent him a letter about 6 months ago. I don't think I got to him, but like I think he has great potential and possibility. This isn't about him.
Yeah.
Speaking.
I know what you're saying.
Generally, like I do as much as I can to help people if I can. And to answer your question, money is a resource. Money is a
That's
tool.
what I was just going to get to.
Money isn't happiness, right?
You can't help anybody, right? It's like that saying of like, if you're on an airplane, right? Put on your oxygen mask first. I tell everybody that. And I said this to Chris, because he's like, I'm not motivated by money. I'm like, dude, you have to become wealthy to help people. And I'm like, whatever. I know there's the Mother Teresa type people, right? Like, you take this vow of poverty, but like, you just said it's a resource. You can, by definition, help more people if you have more resources.
At this point in my life, though, but like you got to understand, and people, and I know you know, and I'm sure people know this as well. It's that like I'm 36, right, and I'm not married. I haven't been married.
Yeah.
I haven't had kids yet.
Yeah.
Right. And I don't have 50,000 friends everywhere I go.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Like I know people,
Yeah.
but you're not going to catch me out partying every Friday night.
Yeah.
The reason for that is because since I was from 19 to my early 30s, I grinded every single day. I worked my ass off every single day. And so what happened was, women of the generation that I was dating were like, well, you don't have enough time for cuddles and bubbles. I'm out, right? And it would be like, but I'm focused on the larger picture here, right?
Yeah.
And so it came at the mercy of relationships.
Yeah.
And it came at the mercy of sacrifices and relationships and friendships, because I was focused on what I needed to do for me so that I can get to a point where I could do this for my family.
That is huge for people to hear, right? So again, people talk about this, and again, there's obviously different phases of your life. So in that young phase, when Jordan Sylvia was in binge drinking, going to night, is everything you said you didn't do. I did that, right? There's no becoming successful when that was, no, again, this is the more important part I want to get to. Where did you get that from? Is it inherent?
Seeing my parents struggle when I was a kid, man. Like seeing how hard it was for my parents to make bills.
Cliff, Cordero sat here and said the exact same thing. He almost cried. I don't know if he was doing it for the camera.
No,
right?
it's hard.
He almost cried. This grown man, dude, all the success in the world. And he said I think his mom passed away young, right? One or the other. I think his mom might have passed away young. And he was basically like, his aunts and uncles became like his like parental role, right? And he's like, and they were poor, as my daughter's moving pizza boxes, my 10-year-old. But he says, when the ice cream truck came, they couldn't afford, so his aunt or uncle would like buy him ice cream, and he's like moved to tears, bro, right? And he said, he's like, I'll never forget that. And so you're basically saying it was almost the drive to get away from that, to escape that.
I couldn't do it. Like my first job, I walked to Jersey Mike's when I was near Benny's.
Yeah.
Right. And snow, sleet, rain, thunderstorms. Nobody gave a shit.
Yeah.
I had to go to work. Right.
Yeah.
And then
how old were you around there?
I was as soon as I could get a job.
Yeah,
I needed to get a
16
job. 15 and a half.
Yeah.
I remember I was so young they wouldn't let me use a slicer. Right.
Yeah.
And I was like, but I needed to work, and I wanted to work every day.
Yeah.
Right. And when I was 15, I was umpiring baseball games, and I wanted to make money.
Cliff, so just, and again, I don't expect you to have every answer, bro, but this is the thing that I'm struggling with. Bro, we live in Fall River, so again, even in my own experience, as broke as you were at that age, we were worse, right? I was on like whatever, welfare, and younger when I even had a still food stamp. So you know what I mean? Like there's a difference. I knew I didn't want to be poor, bro, right? I knew I didn't want to be poor. But it wasn't like, I don't know if it's an inherent thing, bro. There was something inside you to have that burn. And I see it. I hire 15, 16, 17-year-old kids, right, all the time. And you see it, and and it's almost like that's something you want to hire for, right? It's like whatever your experience and background, it's like that drive and that hunger is a different, I feel like it's like I don't know how to explain it.
I say this to all the agents I hire. I could be sitting in front of you right now, and you say, I want to sell real estate. You can say all the right things. I can show you how to get a listing. I can show you how to get a buyer, but I can't show you how to have this.
Yes.
If you don't have this, you don't want to show up and grind every day. You don't want to work. You can't go on like some people, realtors, want to shut their phone off and want to be on vacation for a whole week.
Yep.
Like I've never had a vacation in 20 years where I haven't had my phone on the side of me, answering my phone away on a business trip. So it's you can't teach somebody to have the burning desire to be successful. I can't do that. I can tell you everything else. I have 190 people that work under my broker license, right? I can't teach every one of them to be hungry. They got to show up and do it. And that's the same thing with me. I had to show up and do it.
My hope, bro, is this, because I agree with what you're saying. Put it this way, it's not something that I think, look to teach in people, right? And it's just easier for someone to show up like that. But like you said, even if it's distractions or whatever, I just never had the drive. I have it way more now, right? And my criticism too, even speaking to Cordero about, we talked a little bit offline, like traditional education, there's not this, what we're talking about, bro, is not taught in K through 12, right? So when people ask me, what would you change in the city of Florida? I say if it's one thing, it'd be education.
Kids can't even read cursive anymore.
Bro.
I wrote a letter to somebody recently because I'm a letter guy.
Yeah, that's cool.
And I love to the old school, send somebody something in the mail, say thank you for your time, it was nice to see you, blah, blah, blah. And because they don't do that anymore.
Yeah.
And so I like to do that. And I wrote somebody a letter and they called me and said, I don't know what this says. And they're like, 20.
Yeah.
I'm like, I had a whole class in third grade for handwriting.
Yeah.
You know? So,
and that's, again, it's something I'm a big critic on. And it's crazy because that's something that I always say, if we change the education system in Fall River, that would have the biggest sweeping change to improve the city. I don't care what I don't care what New Bedford, Taunton, any other city in America does. If we just did that here, the craziest part, Cliff, everybody talks about, like, what can we, like, it takes zero more money. It doesn't cost more. It would potentially even cost less. Like, that's how crazy it is. Like, and you know this as a business owner, all day long, you're thinking, how can I do more and be more efficient with less? Government is not that. These people that are in charge, they just like, if you want to do this, we need how much more? Where are we going to get the money? What? Like, dude, that's not how every person in Fall River lives. They don't know that they can go out in the world and go and get more money, like side hustles. Sickly, more people are coming to that realization out of necessity. They can't even meet their own bills, so like they have to. They're finding out they can go out and do these other things. You know?
Yeah, but like I tried doing that. I tried having that philosophy when I ran for mayor, but the people didn't want me. So I mean, it's what it is. I mean, like
you
tough,
say that.
Tough,
Don't be coy. This guy was the mayor of Fall River for a brief period of time.
I wish government could run like a business, but it will never because there's too much cronyism and nepotism and cynicism everywhere you go.
Dude, as the biggest cynic and skeptic of all of that, right? Like I actually feel like the Kevin Garnett thing, like anything is possible. And I just tell everybody, I think it would take critical mass for, that's why I say raise everyone's taxes and make it so bad that they need to, it's like an addict, right? You need rock bottom. If this thing just limps along, bro, it's going to limp along. It needs to be so terrible. And so like COVID was for a lot of people, when you can't even go to church, right? Or you can't, like anything it got so bad, then people you don't have a choice.
Yeah.
That's why addicts change.
Yeah.
Going back to about the drive thing, where I said, like, I hope, again, we don't teach that, bro. We don't, like, there's no K through 12 teacher in Fall River or anywhere in America where they're teaching that. Like, hey, listen, I'm not saying I know how to, but if you're not even trying, right? Like, I think you should show kids there's a different way about, entrepreneurship or whatever else. Again, I'll start the ramble. I'm going to cut out the last fucking 10 seconds of this. But let me ask you this, Cliff. Back to the restaurants, right? Which is that's kind of shocking to me that you do get it. Now, it makes sense when you tell me about your dad, but then that's not the New York bagel thing, right? Like, that's so, but I know it was like, again, you said you had a good partner.
That's a story, though, too. Like, I have a buddy of mine who's a firefighter in Fall River.
Yep.
He works at my real estate company. He's been a friend of family, so it's like family since I was 4 years old. And he sat in my office one day, 5-6 years ago, and he said, I want to be in business with you. I want to do something with you. And at that time, I had Almax and a couple of other businesses going on. And he said to me, I want to be in business with you. I'm like, I'd love to find something. So when the opportunity presents itself, I'll let you know. Now, him and his wife both ran like 30 Dunkin' Donuts. So I always, in the back of my mind, if I could find a Dunkin' franchise or a Honeydew franchise or try to find a coffee brand, that I would bring them in as partners.
Yeah.
And so one of the good things that came from the mayor's race is the connections I made while campaigning. And I made some connections with some people who knew the owners of New York Bagel. And I randomly drove by it one day and I called them up and said, hey, do you want to sell? He says, we're actually under agreement to sell it to somebody else. I'm like, shit, I wish I would have known. I said, but if anything changes, you call me. It changed. They called me. We bought it. And I said to Kyle, Kyle, you are the guy who is going to run day-to-day operations with your wife. Don't call me if the cooks don't call out. Like, this is, you are in charge. You're the operating principal. I'm a partner in it. You run day-to-day with your wife. And it's the best thing I ever did. We took 2 stores. We made it 6 in a year, right? And we want to have 15.
Insane growth.
We want to have 15.
Impressive.
But I have a good partner there. We don't argue. It's not like, oh, I have more ownership than you. Like, we don't care about that stuff. We're just normal human beings like we are right now, having conversations. Are there sometimes tough conversations? Of course. But there's also a lot more other things to get worked up about in life than
100%.
something like that.
Well, I think that's key too. If you're not dude, going back to greed, clearly, ethical
one of the
problems.
seven deadly sins.
If you're not in it for to that extent, I mean, you don't want to be you can't be so altruistic about it. The place loses money because then it just doesn't work, right? Clearly, But if you're not also trying to squeeze every penny out of it, it just makes the whole thing a lot easier, especially with partners, right? But one thing I want you glanced over real quickly. It's funny because I do the same thing. Like for the longest time, when I was in acquisition mode, and I'm getting back into that now. Every business I went into, hey, so what do you want to retire, right? Like people don't know to do that, right? Because people, first off, again, back to the mindset, people don't think they can buy a business.
Yep.
Right? And they've never been, taught how to do it. They think it's for people like you or maybe me. But they don't, and it's literally asking people a question. Now, real estate, you're so programmed to do that. You can just go buy a house. Again, you go buy a house and you see the grass is overgrown, right? You maybe like throw it on, grab the address, throw it on the list. Like, what's up with this house? Like, what's up with this asset needs to be somehow developed, right? Maybe it's arbitrage, right? Mm-hmm. My wife started doing that with like thrifting when she was a kid and stuff you find at Savers and sell for $100 on eBay. You know what I mean? It's just, that's a different mentality too, that we don't teach. You know what I mean? And maybe we could teach that a little more in this country. But I just want people to know, it's like, you just had this thing, like not everybody's, what percent of the population is going to pick up the phone, call the owner of New York Bagel and say, hey, you guys want to sell? You gotta
have risk, and you have to have balls to do stuff.
100%.
Like I'm doing so many other things right now that I just remembered that I'm doing right now that it's risk involved. I'm putting $10,000 a month into a technology company that I'm trying to launch for my real estate business.
Yep.
That might be a total dud.
Yeah.
It's going to be at least 9 months. It's 90 grand of my money that I'm going to throw into something.
And it sounds like another bolt-on.
It is. It's another compliment, right?
Awesome.
And I have some other things I'm working on locally that might make some noise around here too. That I might try to acquire to a certain degree too. So
real quickly, Cliff, one thing that you said that honestly kind of shocked me. I knew you were younger than me, but 36, dude, to get to where you are, like, again, it's something I want to kind of get back to. So when I ran for office, right, one of the last times felt like hundreds of times, right?
You'll do it again.
Part of my platform, I don't know about that, but part of my platform I said was the Cliff Ponte program.
I know you sat on the side of me and called me out on the debate stage. Right. I remember.
We'll check it out. Oh, really? See, I didn't even remember that.
Oh, I do. Because we're in alphabetical order, and I'm sitting there next to Jordan. Right now, you don't make my palms sweaty.
Yeah,
right?
yeah, I love that. I can tell by shaking it. When I shake Rich Cabaceres' hand, it's like I need a tissue out.
Yeah. But like you're sitting on the side of me, and you're like, "Well, these politicians like Ponte." Yeah. I'm like, "Oh, all right, it's all my fault. It's my fault."
But quickly on that, dude, because honestly, I try not to blow smoke up people's ass, right? But it's maybe I have a tendency to do so. But I am impressed at what you've been able to do in your life, dude. There's just no way. Again, when you sit in someone your age, how many 36-year-olds in Fall River have 6 or 7? They can't tell you how many businesses they own. So I'm kind of a results matter type thing. So like people can say whatever you want, but that's something else we can talk about. The critics. Results matter, bro. What you've accomplished in your life. Like, even if I didn't like, this is the part that kills me too in Florida. Separate the personal bullshit. Like, if I didn't like you, dude, as a person, how can I not respect what you've been able to do in your fucking life? You know what I mean? But quickly, the Cliff Ponte plan, right? One of the things that, again, back to the education, I feel like there should be like more internships, right? Where we kind of send kids from Fall River into to almost like shadow entrepreneurs and successful people. Awesome. Louis Andrade.
Yep.
Right? Louis Andrade. I had like 2 quick conversations with him before he passed away. Right? And literally, Cliff, because I heard that someone told me that, that was Cliff's mentor. And the only reason Cliff had all the success was that guy. So I heard that. I went right to the guy. Clearly, it was later in his life, bro. Right? And I was like probably hammering you on like publicly at the time, like political stuff, right? But I knew that was like what got you into the real estate and you're successful with it. So I hit up this gentleman. I said, hey, hit him up. And he was very respectful and polite to me. And he's like, he said something. I should find the message that he came back to me on. But he basically was like open to like sitting down. I said, I heard you basically taught Cliff like all this stuff about real estate. And I'd love to sit down. And he said like he knew who I was and like he would like to do that. Right. But I knew it was real end of his life. Yep. He passed away. I never got to meet him. And one other thing I think I've mentioned to you before, freak occurrence. This is really weird, right? So my kind of, I don't know if you want to call it like a vision board or bucket list, but like a house that you're driving around southern New England, you see a house and you're like, that's the house I want to live in one day. It was his castle on
Westport.
on the ocean. I didn't know he owned it, bro. Right?
Condo, yeah.
So I'm not a real estate. You said I should get my license. I'm more of like the wholesaling type.
How the hell did you end up down there, Westport Point?
I don't know, dude. But it's when you drive. Oh, why was I down there?
Yeah.
Oh, we go. Like my kids love it. You drive by. There's a view.
Scenic,
right. It's scenic, right?
Yeah.
Now I don't know about living there and having people like strangers drive by my house all the time. But it's like a fairy tale castle type property. It's like a iconic type property. I heard he owned it. But I just looked it up. I'm like, who owns this house? What do I have? You know what I mean? Like to get to that point, I found out it was him, and I was like, man, what are the odds? Mm-hmm. Right? Happened with another house. We go to Island Park all the time, like across the street from Flo's in the water. What's that big, huge, beautiful white house on the water over there? Right? Karam's house. Yeah. And it's just weird that you see a house and you're like, man, this is something that like you would aspire to own one day. And it's like, the people who own, I kind of know of them. Yeah. It makes sense too. They're successful people, but how does that happen, bro? Because to me, that seems like the genesis. And if you're a kid watching this, graduating Durfee right now, you said at 19, you meet this gentleman. Did you know him prior?
No, my dad was working at the Acoxet Country Club in Westport, right near where he lived. He was a member there. I was working for another small company, and I was burning it. Like I was going nowhere. I was like, I'm just going to go back to school to be a school teacher. Yep. I said, because I can't do this. I'm knocking on doors. Nobody's calling me back. I'm cold calling. I'm calling people on the phone book. I'm literally hitting my head up against a wall. I thought the entire business was a square peg round hole. I had no way. There's nobody can make it. And this
a lot of young agents probably feel that way, right?
Right. This was 07 and 08 though.
This
was the worst time to even get into real estate, right?
Yeah.
I was selling houses, 3 families for $189 that they bought 3 years ago for $400.
Yeah.
And I couldn't get $189 for it, right? Yeah. Looking back, I wish I bought every single house in 2008, right?
Yeah, everyone.
But anyway, so he gave my dad his card, and he says, I want your son to call me. And my dad came home. I was living at home at the time, and my dad said, call this guy Louie. He's successful. I'm like, yeah, I'm not going to call him, right? He put it was the old school white business card with his office number. He flipped over, wrote his cell phone number on the back. I think I might have the card in my safe still. So I look up, I call him, like, hey, I know I'm trying. I'm trying. I haven't done really well. I've got 1 or 2 listings, but nothing's working for me. He says, why don't you come meet me? I says, fine. So I went to go meet him at the Fall River Country Club. I said, I'll leave. I said, but I got one deal under agreement with my broker, and it's a $4,000 commission. And I really need that money. Like, I need that money. I had $300 to my name. Yeah. He says, I'm going to give you the $4,000 because you're going to get paid at that time. I'm going to advance it to you right now. You're going to come over. So I come over. He gives me the $4,000. I pay him back when I get my commission from the other broker.
Fronted it to you.
And I sat in his office just like this, very skinny, hair, no facial, maybe a chin strap, right?
Yeah.
And he says to me, look, I'm going to tell you a couple things, just like this. I'm going to tell you things. I don't want you to argue with me.
Yep.
Okay. And he says, that's number 1. He says, number 2, if I said, leave my office right now and drive to California, what do you need? And I'm like, oh, I don't know, what? He says, a map. I'm going to give you the map. Mm. You're not going to dovetail through it. You're not going to decide you're going to do some things. This is what you're going to go do. I did it. Within the first month, I got 11 listings. Now, at the time, everybody's like, oh, he's just giving you all the listings. No, I was out at the office till 10 o'clock at night. I was cold calling. I was going back. You had a house that expired.
Showed you how to do it.
In the morning. I went back again at night. Right? I went on my first listing appointment with him, and it was a house in Somerset. I'll never forget it. It was a white Kate right off of 103. And he says, or Wilbur Avenue, and he says to me, I said, what the hell are you going to say going into this appointment? He goes, I don't know. Let's go figure it out. And I'm like, what do you mean? Like, I thought you needed a script and you needed to like have a certain like folder. And
I love this.
So, and then it all happened. And from that point on, I was a top producer. And by 24, I was a partner in the firm. I already built my first house, so it
by 24?
Yeah, 21, I built my first house.
21? Oh, wow.
Yeah. And so, but again, it's just like, I was in the right place at the right time and I had good mentors.
So
and
that was...
any kid, your kids, any high school kid, anybody, surround yourself with people that can mentor you and teach you to do things the right way, right? Like I have been involved in so many circumstances where I could have gone down this road that I could be like Jazel, or I could go down this road that I could have done things the right way. And I've always decided to do things the right way because my dad told me growing up, if you do everything the right way, not the short way or the easy way, you never have anything to worry about.
You took the words out of my mouth when you said like Jazel and left and right. He had mentors too, right? And we see where that went.
Right.
Right. And I'm not even, and again, dude, I don't absolve anybody of accountability. Like you're an adult, bro. Your decisions you make are on you. But when the people who are taking you under their wing and they're your co-defendants in federal, that doesn't fucking help. So the point was, this Louis Andre guy, it didn't matter that some guy took you under his wing, dude. It mattered that he was the right guy.
He was the right guy, and I also made the right decisions in my life. Because
and
there's like, I don't know, like I look back at the Jazel years, right? I don't want to have to talk politics, but I ran for city council. You ran, 39 people ran for city council that year. I came out of nowhere. I came in second place. I was like, what, me?
Yeah.
Jazel's mayor.
Was it really 39 people?
Yeah, it was like 39 people ran for city council.
I was just going to ask my daughter to bring that over here.
And so I'm sitting there. I come in second place. And I have to tell this story because this is important too.
Shoot.
And it's about Sean Kadim. I'll tell you how.
Just one quick before we get that. So again, Slice of Success podcast, we do pizza.
By the way, your daughter made this.
My 10-year-old made this. Hold on, let's get it on camera. This is Gold Fever pizza, so it's this Gold Fever sauce.
That's good.
Dude, 10-year-old kid, bro.
Yeah.
Right? So we're just gonna and Cliff, I do this as I can. Not that you need to be lubricated up with alcohol, food or drink to talk, but I feel like if you're eating too, it makes it a little more intimate type, you know.
And again, I didn't eat breakfast.
Yeah. And again, this is another thing too. Programming note. Usually we run this podcast while we're open, but Cliff's a super busy guy, and I've been trying to get him forever. I said, dude, I'll work around your schedule. So we're not open to the public. So this is just for us.
Of course, you took the small piece.
Yeah, don't feel. But you were talking about Sean in that race.
Yeah, I remember. I'll never forget.
I feel you guys are pretty like this.
Yeah, he's a good guy. Like he's a loyal person.
Yep.
Right. And we don't always agree on things or politics or anything like that. But like I ran for city council, and I came in. Jazel was running. I came in second place out of nowhere. I'm like, me? I'm the most popular guy in the world. Your ego is at the highest level.
Yeah.
Like
I can imagine.
Like, oh my god.
I would never have that experience, but I can imagine having it.
Yeah, right. So I'm over there doing my thing. And I came in second place, and this is and I was friendly with Jazel. Like his first day in office.
So was I.
I was sitting in his office with Chris Pirano, looking at the note Sam Sutter left him, saying, pretty much.
Like Biden left Trump.
Yeah, or Trump left Biden. Whatever.
Yeah, whichever way you want.
Whatever you want to call it. So I'm looking at it, and I'm like, this is great. Like I'm friends with the mayor. I came in second place. I'm a
How old were you?
25.
Wow. So you were super young too, dude.
Yeah, he was 22 when he ran for mayor. And then so I was like on top of the world. I told Kadim this story recently. I don't think he remembered this. And this is why I like this guy so much. Mm-hmm. It's that I'll never forget, this was about trash. You remember I ran on eliminating the $10 fee in the trash bags, right? Mm-hmm. And that was a priority of mine. I will never forget this meeting. It was the third meeting on the city council. Jazel was sitting behind me with his girlfriend. Kadim was president. I took the floor and I annihilated the entire idea of trash bags and $10 fees because I didn't want it.
Yeah.
Right? And I'm getting, I think you were there, I'm getting, clapping. People are texting me like, you're the best. I love you. I'm so happy I voted for you. And I left that meeting. I'm walking out and I'm like, yeah, I'm all jacked up, right? I go to Kadim. I'm like, hey, buddy.
I know where this is going. Well, go ahead.
You proud of me? Like I'm like,
yeah.
Manic mode, Jordan manic mode. So he comes to me and he says, can I be honest with you? I'm like, yeah. He goes, that was the worst display of a politician I've ever seen in my life. He says, you know what you want to do? You want to stop being popular and get respected. Who cares if you're popular? But you're all excited. You got 7,000 votes and people are electing you for the office and you want to keep those people happy. Because you know what? Forget about that. You want people to respect you and not like you. Right? Now, take that. If you don't agree with that advice, that's okay. If your people don't, that's fine too. But from my standpoint, I took that with me for the rest of my time on the city council. Every race after that, I came in first place. Yeah. Right? Now, granted, I was coming off an acting mayorship. Right? Yeah, I was holding people accountable. It was crazy times. But still, like, from my standpoint, I remember those days. And I remember, like, I thought about that. Like, I don't care if the room likes me. Yeah. I want to just do the right thing and be respected. Yep. And I've taken that to the business.
And that's obviously a pivotal thing to hear at that time, right? Like, because again, you were thinking,
wow.
Because, dude, I always say,
I'm going to eat the whole piece.
You can take the rest with you. But yeah, the whole political thing. I've always said this about Jay-Z, Flanagan, even this nice older gentleman, Paul Coogan.
Yep.
People ask me why they behave this way, and I say they grew up a certain way, specifically Jay-Z and Flanagan, for a lack of a better term, like nerds, not popular, whatever.
I hear that a lot,
right?
yeah.
You get what you just described to me. This is what I tell people is my theory, because I don't know. They get some popularity, some money, some power, big fish in a small. Yeah, dude. And it's like you go, and
it's hard not to though.
I say women, right? Women for the first time, because those guys didn't.
Sure.
And I've seen this not just in the political world, just in other people's lives. They start getting girls for the first time in their life. It's like worse than crack cocaine, bro. Mm-hmm. And they flip their fucking mind. So it's key to hear that at that time. Let me ask you one other thing, bro. Again, away from the political stuff, you touched on it earlier, and this is something like I don't try to judge people, bro. Right? Like I used to be really judgmental, right? And I've come more to I can have my opinions on whatever I think about anything, but if I want to be helpful, right? Because what could I offer you in advice? And when I know of everything about your life and your story, the one thing that honestly jumps out at me, bro, and I hear a lot of people of your age and generation, almost like a badge of honor, the kid who owns the society, he's killing it, nice kid. I love seeing people like that. I want to see everyone in Florida be like that, right? Mm-hmm. But he's like, I don't have kids, so I can grind 16 hours a day. All I can say from my perspective, I don't judge, bro, because I have friends that I grew up with, and they just like that, never had the personal side of it, the personal life, relationships, family part, dude. You kind of, again, your life is in the limelight, dude, locally, right? Like, political and all this other stuff. That's one thing where when I talk to anybody, Cliff, they don't have kids or like, a relationship. All I say to that is when I didn't have a family like that of my own, I did things that I thought was super fun and the most fun I've ever had in my life. Having kids, it wasn't even comparable. You know what I mean? And you're young still, dude. Yeah. So it's not. But here's where I get back to not being judgmental. You may choose to never go that route.
No, I want to have kids.
There's nothing wrong with that.
The thing is, I'm at a point in my life now. That's where I'm ready for. I knew this was going to happen.
Yeah.
So like the people I'm dating, and I'm not dating multiple.
You look at. We just caught him on. No, but you look at relationships with that, like an eye towards that.
Because when I was dating, when I was 25, I was like, I need the hottest girl in the room, right? Mm. And nothing else mattered, right? But then you grow and you do different things, and you're like, I want the right person to surround myself, somebody who complements yourself and your goals. But
so that's on the to-do list, the family.
Yeah, it is certainly. Like in the next couple of years, like 2-3 years, I want to have a kid. I want to settle that down because I'm there. I'm at that point in my life, right?
Yeah.
I go to work, I come home. Like I'm not going to be out at bars. I go to work and I come home. I go out. We'll go out with my girlfriend. I'll do whatever I got to do. But like I'm not out like painting the town red.
Yeah. So again, it seems like it comes back to like you're pretty. Like disciplined or however you want to call that. You know what I mean?
I have a lot of people that depend on me to make a living.
I
need to show up every single day for a lot of people and doing things the right way. If I'm irresponsible, if I make a stupid mistake, it impacts the lives of other people, right? I had people that have worked for me that have made bad decisions or acted stupid. I sent them packing. I don't want you working here. Friends, like and people like these people were friendly with me, they worked for me, but they acted in a way that isn't what I expect as having core values, characteristics that I want to surround myself with. So if you're not my kind of person, you're going. Because there's no money in the world that you can make me that I'm going to surround myself with people who are irresponsible.
Would you couch that as, cliche, like slow to hire, quick to fire, or at least quick to fire? Yeah.
Unfortunately.
Yeah.
And sometimes
I fall short there, bro. I'll tell you right now, because I'm new to this. We've said this offline, the whole the business and having my own employees. I'm new to that. That's why I did this. It was an educational experience for me. I'm super thankful because it is hard. Anything you do hard makes you better.
Of course.
And it's funny saying that to you, dude, because you're like how many do you, let me ask you this. I love asking people this and they can't answer this question. And again, they get modest and a little embarrassed about it.
Uh-oh.
Shout out to Kyle Malian. How many employees do you have?
Altogether, I think I've got maybe 300, 400.
Okay.
Because with all of
he's
the
he's give or take 100. No, give or take 100.
No, I do.
But listen, when I hear people say that, and a gentleman that I learned M&A stuff from, right? And somebody asked him that one time, and he felt embarrassed, right? That he's like, I couldn't. He's like, but he operates. Another thing I'd love to talk about. I know we're kind of getting closer on time. There's in the business and on the business, obviously, right? But when you're like, yeah, somewhere between 300 and 400, dude. When I hear that, like, again, it's just like, I couldn't have more respect for that. I couldn't have more respect for that. But it goes back to what you're saying, because, like, that's my goal, right? I've said that on this podcast. My goal is to have, like, Manny Sarmento has, from what I was told, around 100, right? Now you're sitting here 3 to 4 times that. I look at that as, again, because, again, there's the talk about charitable stuff. Like, I'm like more of the give a man a fish versus teach a man to fish, dude. Like, you can help someone and give them a slice of pizza when they're homeless, or you can give them a job, or you give 400 people jobs every week. Bro, like, I don't think there's much more of a altruistic thing you can do, right? And it goes back to living in a capitalist society. That's how this country runs. Mm-hmm. And when you can sustain people's livelihoods, dude, and that amount of people, like, what more impact can you do? You know what I mean? You have more employees than there are homeless people in Fall River, allegedly. So it's like, to me, that's my goal, bro. And we live in this weird time now where, imagine watching this 20 years from now, if anybody would care to. But it's like with AI and all this technology advances, like they're saying, oh, you can have a solopreneur gig and have $1 billion business. Like, you don't need employees, bro. So like if employees become optional, right? Like, I think it's even more, to actually take on and help people, right? And I'm not articulating that in the best way, but to me, that's my personal goal, is to have many employees, right? And it's not an ego thing. It's not so I can say I do. I know what it's like when people, when people who work for you offline. I can imagine, dude, all the agents that have come up to you when they made their first commission ever in their life, and they never thought they'd see a check for 10 grand or whatever it is,
right?
And they probably, dude, that's what life is all about. And that whole saying, which is cliche too, like, I'll do whatever for myself, you'll do whatever for yourself, but for other people, it's really sick. Like, again, back to the family. When you have kids, bro, right? It's like what you will do for yourself is for you. You'll do a lot for yourself, dude, as you displayed. But for your own kids, and then again, now it's for your employees and their families, bro. That's,
I realized, I was talking to somebody recently, and like, the amount of people that depend on me for a living and their families, it's kind of somewhat shocking. It's like, it's scary. And that's why it's like, people are like, you're never out. Like, somebody sent me a message recently, like, what's your personal life like? Like, we never see pictures of you with your girlfriends and, and all these other things. I'm like, yeah, well, because, like, I'll do that eventually. But, like, it's because I don't want them. I'm in the limelight, man. Like, there's people that go after you in this business. You want to know why people don't want to run for office? I say this all the time.
Here we go.
I have to say it because it grinds my gears.
Yeah.
People don't want to put their families through this nonsense.
Not even yourself, your family.
I don't care about me.
Chris was like, say what about me? My kids are hearing and seeing.
Yeah, you don't want people making stuff up about you and saying, oh, you're getting, you're doing this and you're getting money from here, and like, get lost, man.
What is it about politics though that comes with it? It's like, if you go for a job, I'm sure in the corporate world, this is the part of the podcast where I eat with my mouth full, speak with my mouth full. Because it's not just even poverty. Like, everyone's so poor that they're scrambling for a $75 a year job or whatever. Like, what is it about? Like, why is that? Why does that come with it?
It's just like, it's what you do. And it's like, when people can't go after your record and what you do as a elected official, mayor, council, state rep, governor, whatever you want to call it, president, they go after you personally. When they can't take you down and you can't get fazed by what you do, they go after you personally, because it does hurt. It hurts. Like, and I don't care what anybody says. They see the comments. If not, people said it to them. It's up to them if they're going to take that stuff personally. Because all those people who want to talk about you and they see you, they shake your hand and give you a high five.
100%.
And you're the
I
greatest
learned
guy
that.
I've ever met in my life.
Hey,
yeah, but you're over literally talking shit about me and my family 15 minutes ago.
Correct.
Keyboard warriors,
Correct.
right? And like, you're different because you'll tell somebody off right in front of their face, and you've done that. But like, there are other people, and I don't even know anybody's name per se. It doesn't make a difference to me.
It's good that you don't even know who they are.
I don't
even care to that level.
I don't care because, like, honestly, I love being a city councilor. I love giving back. I love holding the administration accountable. I don't care who the mayor is. I am going to bust the administration's balls until a point where they know where I'm coming from, right? So I don't care who the mayor is. I did it with Jazel. I did it with Coogan. I did it with everybody. So like for me, I look at it as why do people do this? I don't know. But why don't you get good people to do this stuff? I can tell you why. They don't want to get involved in this.
How about this, Cliff? And people must tell you that too, right? Because you probably have the conversation.
They don't tell me to my face. They'll write it.
No, but last night, right? Like last night, I told you my buddy was talking to me. I know he wants to run, and he literally will say, he's like, I'm not putting myself, just what you just said. He's like, I'm not subjecting myself and my family to that.
Who would though? Like look at it from the national, local.
Dude, how about like the current president got shot through his ear? Right? Like, thankfully it hasn't. But dude, I personally, when I wasn't even running for office, but because I even got invited, because I didn't like these trash bags, right? My car's being tampered with. It gets to that level, which is, again, I don't even really fully understand it to that extent. It sucks, so I got to get you out of here. I know we're running short on time. Couple quick things. I sat with Kadiro here. This kind of blows my mind. Why do you choose to live in Fall River? A lot of people do because out of, again, like it's as high as the rents are and stuff, like that either whether it's the family or whatever. But it's like I feel it's more compelling when you have more resources, like you have more options. Yeah,
I've been here my whole life. I like the city. It's good for me. I have a house, whether my house is in Fall River or Barrington. I go home. I use the same 3 rooms like you do, right? Like it's.
Do you get asked this? Like,
all the time. It's like you want a bigger house on the water? Yeah, sure, but I still use the bathroom, the kitchen, and my bedroom, and my living room. 4 rooms. That's it.
How much more can it get?
I need another 4,000 square feet for what? To clean? Dude, so I don't know. I mean, like I like the city. I know it. It's the only thing I've ever known. Like, why change something that works? And do you want to have a place in Florida one time? Yeah, maybe we'll do that one.
Or you can always vacay. And, I just find it like shocking. Like Kadiro, he's like, I'm worth $90 million. My wife is begging me to get out of Fall River. Understandably, because life is short, bro. Like, why subject yourself, right? And he just I love it. You know what I mean? And I was on the record then, and even now, it's like I am actively shopping different areas of the country because it's back to the politics, which as I did not want to talk about. I just clearly don't agree with what the majority of people historically, when the city votes for Trump now, things are maybe changing a little bit. Maybe it's in vogue or whatever. But I'm like a small government guy. I don't want people telling me what to do with my life.
You have your right to do that. That's
and Massachusetts feels a different way about that. Right. So I look at, I was watching Peter Thiel on Joe Rogan, and he said, if he's going to live in America, it would be either near like Nashville or like Miami. Now, this guy's obviously can live anywhere he wants in the world, right? He's one of the most richest guys in the world. So I've took kind of look at Miami is different. He's probably thinking more business-wise, right? Business-friendly environment, tech and crypto and all that stuff. But I've been looking at like Nashville. You know what I mean? I'm going down there. It's I think it would kind of fit my lifestyle a little better.
I'm assuming a red state for you.
Yeah, right. And even that, I'm not even big sold out on Republicans, but I am kind of running. Let me ask you again, because we are getting close to the wire, bro. Real quick, Fall River, right? And I didn't want to talk about politics, the demographics, because I am like I keep having this conversation recently about political stuff. Like, I feel like Fall River is the poster boy for like democracy as a failed experiment, dude. You mentioned Sean Kadim. He like after the debate, he's like, I think we need to reevaluate the form of government and what, you know what I mean? Like, it's questioning the structure and you know what I mean? Like, I've been there for a while. As a libertarian, I've been there for a while. I don't believe in any of this stuff, right? My question is, right, the whole idea of democracy and elections and all this stuff, I've said this before. I don't mean it to be offensive, but this is just my thoughts, bro. People can flame me for it. You have democracy is everyone in the area gets together and makes collective decision making. Now, when you live, that may work in Newton, right, or some other place, but when Fall River is 10% affordable housing, 50-60% of the population is like free or reduced schooling, lunch, poverty, low education, right? So let's get all these people together, because everyone's like scratching their head on the political results, right? Like, to me, it's like, it makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's like it's not, you know. So you have like a Bernie Sanders doing the fight against oligarchy tour. It's like, I feel like Fall River is like the Dunning-Kruger effect. Like, if you listen to WSAR, it's people on public assistance criticizing Trump or Elon or you. And there's no basis of knowledge and experience there. I've raised this before, and again, people may get mad, but it's just, I don't see how that system is supposed to work, and it wasn't designed to work that way.
No, I agree, and that's my point. I said earlier, it's like, when you can't go after somebody's specific platform, or go after a decision I make as an elected official. You don't like how I voted on this. Fine, fair. Your opinion, my opinion, that's fine. We'll move on, we'll have a good day, right? But when you go after people on a personal level because they didn't vote in something in favor of, oh, he's corrupt. Oh, he only owns all these businesses because he's a city councilor. Please, man. Like, I don't even go, like, there's so many resources that I could use at the city that I could go for tips and ties and do all these other stuff that everybody else does, but I don't, because I don't want to deal with it all.
Or, like, again, like, to use Trump as an example, which is really perverse, and I think this is telling too. Like, I've heard he's lost a ton of money getting involved in politics, right? But dude, clearly there's no shortage of people who, like, again, and I saw that the woman, Iman, whatever her name is, she's worth $30 million from being in Congress. Yeah. After she went in being worth $49,000. So again, like,
and has a $120,000 salary. How does that make sense? How can federal elected officials be okay with insider trading, but if you and I did it, would be in jail?
Yeah.
It just doesn't make any sense.
Yeah. And again,
we can talk about that for 4 days.
Yeah, exactly. We both hate even talking about it. I want people to take something away from this. I kind of, heads up a little bit. But if someone's watching this, they're from Fall River, right? They come from a super poor background, or again, they're just starting out, right? They're 18. If there's one thing in your life experience and whatnot that would help them, right, to get to, to become financially successful or successful in any capacity.
Very simple. Never give up, right? Do things the right way, not the easy way, not the short way. And ask yourself the question, are you doing this what's right for you and your family, right? And I had that same premise my entire life. If you're out there struggling, I know what it's like, man. I know what it was like to go to my coins in my car and buy a French fry from McDonald's.
You must hate that people look at you now like, must be nice, right? Like,
I hear that all the time.
No, but they must treat you like you don't know what it's like.
Yeah, of course they do. But like, okay, fine. But like, I still remember what it's like.
Yeah.
And that's why I'm not going to stop, right?
Yeah,
I'm not
Cadero is the same way.
You're not going to stop. Like, you know what it's like to not have shit.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying that as a disrespect to my parents.
Yeah, of course. They did the best they could.
We never went on a trip
100%.
to Florida.
Dude, I'm glad you said that, because me and my wife have had that with our parents too. It's like, if you talk about the reality of growing up in a bad environment, they kind of get offended by that, which is like, I understand that too. But it doesn't change the, you know what I mean? Like, what are you supposed to lie about it? I mean, I don't mean to offend anybody.
No. It's just like, trust me, man, I know what that was like.
Yeah.
I never want to be sweating like that on a Sunday. I want to watch the Patriots game, right? And then, hey, listen, I got a job after that, working at a bank. Yeah. I got fired. I got my first car payment. I was 17 years old. My drawer was short $1,000. It was a bank teller. Yeah. And I never did anything wrong. Yeah. A guy came into the bank. Yeah. He put $1,000 and 20s on the top. Yeah. He wanted large bills, so I went to the side. I went to the drawer underneath. I took the thousand out. I counted it. I looked. The money wasn't there. I thought I put it in my bottom drawer. I handed him the money. He left. Yeah. It was the day before Thanksgiving. Oh, jeez. I cried. I was in high school. I cried and cried and cried and cried. It reminds me of like one of my favorite movies. It's a Wonderful Life. I don't know if you ever caught that, but yeah. I don't think so. But like, I was like, oh, my parents were like, I'll pay you. And they're like, yeah, no, you're fired. I was like, well, this sucks. Yeah. Right? I guess I got to go back to Papa Gino's. So, but anyway, look, for anybody out there, you kids, people who watch your stuff, I just say, just do it the right way, man. Work hard. Don't care about what those haters are going to have to say. Let that be motivation for you to do bigger and better and show them what you're like. Couple real quick things. So there's 3 ways of approaching all that stuff, the criticism. It's like, ignore it, right? Well, first off, let it affect you. That's clearly the worst thing. Care about what these people are saying, and that's why certain people have had that problem. They let it affect them, and they let them change their decision making. Mm-hmm. Don't go that way. You could ignore it. Much better than the first option. But the third way is what you said, is to, no, don't ignore it.
use it as fuel. Take it in and convert it, right? Like transmute it into doing better. Cliff, there's so much more I could obviously talk to you about.
Let's do it again sometime.
But dude, I really appreciate your time, man, and hopefully.
And I had my Aurora ring. I got this new ring.
We're gonna see what I got your blood pressure up to.
Blood stress. So when I look at the app when I'm done, I'm gonna see how hard did Jordan make me.
Oh, I should have put it. I should have wore it. We could go.
Appreciate
it, brother. Thank you, guys. Take care.